G'day everyone. I just wanted to make a quick, short and sharp, it's probably not going to be short, but anyway, quick build guide for what I am playing on my Charge Moto at the start of this league. This is a Torment 6, or Torment 6, Time Mark 6 map. As you can see, I can go through and one tap pretty much all of these monsters. It's not super fast. I'm sure there are much faster builds out there. However, Charge Moto does not seem very popular at all this season so far. Gear is rather horrible. So no doubt that's pretty bad. Let's reset that one and give it another go. So no doubt there will be vast improvements. However, if you're new to the game and you just want something that can farm up some currency, this is a pretty good build. If you have charge calling Moto. So just going through, you just basically explode the entire screen and hit for a couple of mil, which compared to previous seasons is not much. Boss comes out, you just pop your Dark Gate for command stacks and vulnerability. Vulnerability puts a massive aura around you, which makes the enemies take additional physical damage, which if you're using machine guards, then your minions are dealing physical damage. And elemental damage is another option if you want to go with the Grim Reapers. However, I've found that the Grim Reapers like to spawn and then wait around, have a lunch break, and then they'll, catch up with their mates, and then they'll go and explode. Very slow. It just feels, even though they are auto summon, it just feels really, really slow. And DPS is about 2 to 3 times as high with machine guards, because they just charge in and explode on the enemies. Yes, Ruby. So that's the tier 6 map done. We'll just hit any of these, whatever. I'm sure your TV is super important, Ruby. Alrighty, so that was a quick demonstration of the build. If you're doing maps, anything after tier 3 can start dropping flame elementium. So you basically just you can use this to easily farm lower tier content. Tier 6 starts to struggle a bit. My gear is lacking, well, that is quite nice, but the rest of my gear is rather lacking. Again, another nice piece. However, I don't have any item level 85 or 82 plus for other pieces other than chest and boots. So there's a lot of energy that I'm missing, which means another 6 link or so. There we go, 59, it's pretty good. Which gives you a lot more energy to use in skills. Normally you would have 2 6 links running. In previous versions of the game, you would have 2 6 link machine guards just running around dominating the entire game. So onto the skills. We have machine guard with mechanical modification. You used to run maniacal army in here as well. However, with the changes to the game, you can only summon 3 at a time, and you can't have 2 of the same summon out to get your 6 minions. It gives a a few extra bits. I might test it out as a damage source later. However, at the moment, what I'm running is crit chance, crit damage, uh, mechanical modification. This is just a huge buff, 170% additional damage, and life. The minions explode for life damage. Precision strike is area damage. Yep. And steamroll is skill radius and melee damage. These minions explode for melee damage. For survivability, we have compound potion with residues. Residues means that your potion will not run out. You get to max life, it'll just keep ticking until the whole 1300 life and 500 mana is restored. Now the beauty of this build, actually I'm not utilizing that because I'm trying something else different. You'd normally be alchemist, so mana regen is actually life regen. But for lower tier content, your tank is not an issue. Armor infusion for some extra armor, and cooldown reduction for obvious. Then we have blink with quick mobility and periodic burst. Our curse is vulnerability with terrain of malice. This is what creates that massive aura around you, minus 12% effect, but 150% increased area. And so you're running around and that creates that massive debuff area and extended duration. A buff is Dark Gate with extended duration, efficient cast and cooldown reduction. I need to level these up, obviously. Here we have Rejuve with Seal Conversion, so seals some life instead of mana, with Magical Source for mana regen. Auto Defense with Reform and Steadfast. Reform is a barrier, and Steadfast is extra armor. And finally, we have Weapon Amplification and Fearless for your physical minions. My Soul Candles, I haven't had anything super awesome yet. Minus 8 sealed mana is basically all I'm getting from that one. And the other one, I'm getting some regen. So, really horrible luck on the Soul Candles. I've seen some people with plus 50% minion damage, which is crazy. What else do we have? We have skills here. So going through, you're basically picking up minion damage, minion crit. I don't know why I haven't put one in there. Over here you have minion max life, which for Charge Moto, max life is damage and minion damage. Machinist, again, minion damage, max life. Attack and cast speed, which, why do I have that? I don't know. That makes no sense, considering... Let me just fix this. Alright, so I've fixed that up. Attack and cast speed does nothing for Charge Moto. So I've just chucked a couple of extra points in life regen here. Onto Machinist, going through, I've taken out the attack and cast speed there and put it into movement speed down the bottom, because getting around the map is pretty important. You can see all those. Now this tree is basically either Alchemist or Steel Vanguard. I'm trying out Steel Vanguard just because I can. Still got minion damage with max life. Over here we have max mana with sealed mana. I might be able to remove those. Down here we just have some free erosion res, which is really handy considering my gear is not great so far. Up here we just have more armor with some skill radius for minions. I think that makes them explode into a larger area, which is quite nice. Down the bottom we have elemental resistance, minus 10% additional elemental damage taken, and converts physical damage to a random elemental damage. We have some max life and regen, restoration skill effect increase for every 1% life lost. And then up here we have minion damage, chance to gain stacks of tenacity, agility, and focus. So additional damage, etc. on those, which is pretty nice. Up here we have plus 3% max ele res. Damage penetrates elemental resistance. I don't know if the bottom part affects our minions. However, it's pretty nice anyway. On the right, you also have a nice barrier, and on the left, aura effect as well. It might be worth switching between any of these, as they are all very strong. On the left here, we just have plus 55% empower effect, plus 10 defensive skill level, which is pretty huge. Or the middle one might be really nice as well. Plus 5 max erosion res and fizz damage taken as elemental. Fizz and elemental taken as erosion, rather. All of these are pretty strong options. And yeah, so that's that. My divinity fragments are actual garbage. I haven't had a single. Well, I've had one that's been really nice drop, which was crit damage, minion crit damage, etc. However, I forgot it was in my inventory and I salvaged everything, so I lost that. Looking at hero traits, surprise force, quick battle, preparation, team assault, and heroic sacrifice. You could switch to that one, however, I like to spam, so I really wouldn't get up to 12 mechanical parts anyway. Excess capacities and so the hero relics and memories have been really strong drops so far this season. Minion life, I might switch it to this one because that's quite nice as well. We can unequip that and put it over here. Minion damage, max life, minion damage double. Yep, let's do this one. So basically, ideally, you want as much of your player's max life to the minion's base life and a high self-destruct triggered. However, minion max life, minion damage, etc. are all really strong early on. So they're the three that I have. Self-destruct base, self-destruct minion life, and mini damage max life. So that... skip. Why are you giving me tutorials still? Pact scripts, I am running full loot because I can easily clear tier 6 and below, which gives me a whole bunch of extra flame fuel, a bit of damage, and drop quantity, which is really nice for farming the lower tier maps as fast as possible. Let's quickly go over the trait decks, etc. Onto the trait decks for mapping. If you don't know, trait decks this season are a permanent buff for your maps. So it makes sense to always have additional rare monsters and magic monsters in your map. You could go with fine legendary gear, however most of the legendary gear is garbage. Onto just pure flame sand. 26% chance for rare monsters to drop one additional flame sand. Netherrealm resonance, they're your currency for buying beacons, etc. Flame sand can be duplicated, and rare gear has a chance to become flame sand. Drop rarity doesn't really do much. This is pretty huge. Extra XP earned and stage completions, which is really nice. If you want to zoom through the maps, you want to get as much Trial of the Gods as possible. So I've just gone with the chance for Trials of God to spawn. I haven't gone with this one because I don't really care about the rewards that you get out of this. I just want the speed boost that that provides. Goddess of Hunting is good for loot because it's just a quick button before the boss and you get extra stuff. God of Machines is quite slow. Dark Surge is quite good as well. You just spam at the end of the boss, as well as Black Sail. However, I haven't got many of these, so I don't do that. Cube of Infinity would be really cool as well. So what I'm running is just flat currency, stage completions, and get through the map as fast as possible. So that is the maps. I've gone over the pack scripts. I've gone over the skills and hero traits and talents. I think that's pretty much it. If you want to make some really good currency, this build will do that for you because you get a ton of flame sand, and flame sand is selling for 25 to 1 at the moment. So you can just farm up. I've spent probably 3,000 flame sand so far this season, and I've sold probably 2,000 more, which is pretty nuts. You can sell the flame sand in stacks of 999, and people are paying 16 for 400, which is crazy awesome. But yeah, ideally you want to go with a two-handed hammer, because two-handed hammers have been buffed this season, which is really nice. If we look at crafting the two-handed hammer, 120% max minion life. Let's just search for minion up here. So max minion life, 240% minion damage. That's pretty sweet. That equals your 2 one-handers basically. And yeah, it's just really good. Gear. Obviously, I just skimmed over my gear because it's garbage. However, you just want to go with armor, minion max life, minion damage, and to cap your resistances. So with my talents, I have 80 all res, 82 fire res because of my chest piece, with +2 max elemental res. I think I have +2. It's the helmet that's got +2 max fire, which is really nice. As much armor, as much life, as much regen as you can get, with minion max life and minion damage on your gear as well. It is super easy to craft below item level 82 stuff because it uses 1 flame sand. And yeah, just max out your res, get some minion damage where you can, and dominate the early game. It is really easy to get experience this season, so you should be able to get up to 90, 95 quite easily. That is my basically day one build guide for Charge Moto. If you like the video, please consider subscribing and give us a thumbs up. Thank you very much.